At a romantic dinner, Yoshida met the girl he likes, named Gotu. Yoshida musters the courage to confess, but Gotu says, "I'm sorry bro, I have a boyfriend." Yoshida's heart shatters, so he goes drinking with his friend Hashimoto. Drunk, he heads home and finds a girl sitting by a lamppost on the way. Yoshida approaches, telling her to go home as it's late, but she has nowhere to stay. She offers to sleep with him if he lets her stay. Yoshida refuses, so she asks to stay for free instead. He agrees. At home, the girl keeps trying to sleep with him, but Yoshida declines. What he really wants is some miso soup. Typical. When a girl offers anything, you ask for miso soup. I'd ask for a pizza myself. The next day, Yoshida wakes up with no memory of yesterday. The girl reminds him about Gotu, as he talked in his sleep. She offers to comfort him. Yoshida asks her to stop, but she persists, finding it odd that a man would host her without expecting anything in return. Hearing this, Yoshida asks for her ID. She's Sayu, who fled home due to personal issues, and has been staying with strangers for 6 months doing favors. Yoshida decides to help her by letting her stay at his place so she can stop this behavior. Yoshida tells Hashimoto everything. Hashimoto warns him it could be dangerous and to watch out for legal trouble. He lets her stay in exchange for doing chores, warning he'll kick her out if she tries to seduce him. He buys her clothes and a futon, and wanting to stay in touch, goes with Hashimoto to get her a cell phone. Hashimoto says he's being too nice and warns that she might fall for him, or he for her. Yoshida dismisses this, saying he prefers older women. Hashimoto mentions rumors of a girlfriend, noting Yoshida's happier mood and better pressed shirts at work. Yuzuha Mishima, Yoshida's junior, asks over lunch if the rumors about him having a girlfriend are true. Yoshida denies it, even sharing about Gotu's rejection. Hearing this, Mishima feels a sense of relief. At the office, Gotu invites Yoshida out for a meal. During dinner, Yoshida is visibly nervous. To ease the tension, Gotu suggests they take turns asking questions with honest answers only. Yoshida asks why Gotu invited him to lunch, but Gotu dodges and asks if he's dating anyone. First words, first actions. What the fuck? He suspects Mishima. Yoshida denies it, asking why she cares after rejecting him. Gotu explains that it's annoying when a guy confesses and is with another girl the next day. You've got a boyfriend, you know. Remember, you have a boyfriend. Gotu finishes, leaving Yoshida thinking, is that all you invited me for? Gotu tells him to ask another question. Yoshida asks her bra size. She says I cup. Yoshida comes home feeling down. Sayu hugs him to cheer him up. Yoshida hands her his phone. They exchange contacts. Sayu goes, I'm Sayu. Yoshida replies, Yoshida-man. Sayu's happy, feeling closer to Yoshida. Sayu dreams of her past, feeling insecure that Yoshida hasn't tried anything. She wonders how long she'll stay, fearing he'd kick her out if he got a girlfriend. At work, Mishima invites Yoshida to a movie. He texts Sayu he's going with a co-worker. Sayu worries it might be a woman and decides to check. Yoshida and Mishima exit the cinema, discussing the film about destined love encounters. Yoshida asks if Mishima's experienced one. She says yes, vowing never to let go, and hugs him. Sayu sees this and leaves, heartbroken. They part ways. Yoshida returns home, finds Sayu missing, and worriedly searches for her. Sayu, conflicted and crying, is approached by Mishima, who asks why she's there. Sayu explains she ran away because someone's kind to her, but fears rejection if she expresses her feelings. Mishima relates, saying when someone's kind, you can't stop thinking about why and about them. Both are talking about Yoshida. Mishima says if that person's so kind, it's because they trust you. So you should trust them too and tell them everything. At that moment, Yoshida arrives. Mishima, wondering about Sayu's relationship to Yoshida, decides to leave them alone to talk privately. Yoshida will explain everything to him later. At home, Sayu comes out in underwear to confess, but Yoshida tells her to get dressed first. Sayu, determined, says she's still a woman, approaches him and asks if he wants to sleep with her. Yoshida's annoyed, but Sayu says others wanted to sleep with her. Am I not good enough for you? She implies. Yoshida gets angry, but Sayu insists on an answer. She explains she did all this to avoid going back home. Having a teen at home is risky, you could be arrested. So she offered her body as payment. But when the risks outweighed the benefits, she'd be thrown out. She feared that might happen with Yoshida. She asks why he lets her stay if she's only done chores, feeling she should offer more by sleeping with him. Yoshida tells her she's pretty, but he won't sleep with a woman he doesn't love. Sayu understands, and Yoshida asks her to get dressed. Yoshida clarifies that Sayu has actually done a lot for him. Since she arrived, he's changed. He's happier, less lonely, and the house feels more like home. Hearing this, Sayu's eyes fill with tears. Yoshida says her presence is enough. He wants nothing more. Sayu thanks him, happy. Sayu wants to work. There's a mini-mart nearby, so she'll start there. That's where she meets Asami Yuki. Asami shows her the ropes. After work, as they live close, Asami wants to visit Sayu's place. For that, Sayu needs to ask Yoshida's permission. Asumi asks if Yoshida is her boyfriend, but Sayu says no. He's not family, just cares for her like a big brother. Asami says it sounds sketchy, but okay. Yoshida comes home and meets Asami. Later, Yoshida walks Asami out. She asks for the truth about him and Sayu. Yoshida says if Sayu wants to hide it, it's not his place to tell. If she sees him as a brother, so be it. This confirms to Asami that Yoshida is a good guy. And yes, he really is. At work, Goto invites Yoshida to dinner again and starts asking questions. Yoshida asks why she invited him. This time, Goto admits it's because she likes him. Yoshida's like, what the heck? She'd rejected him before, claiming she had a boyfriend. Truth is, she didn't. Her instinct just said it wasn't the right time. Yoshida doesn't buy it and tells her if she truly loves him, she should sleep with him right away. Sayu says she doesn't mind, as she's still a virgin. Yoshida apologizes for his bold move and gets angry, saying she's also at fault. He expects honesty, so when she's ready, she should be the one to confess. Now it's Goto's turn. Sayu gets a text from Yoshida saying he's bringing Goto home to meet her. Goto arrives with snacks. They sit to eat, with Sayu feeling uncomfortable. Yoshida goes to the bathroom and Goto asks Sayu to talk privately. Sayu agrees, as she also has things to say to Goto. She asks Yoshida to go buy ingredients for dinner. Alone, Goto asks why Sayu's here and how long she'll stay, as it's risky for Yoshida. Sayu shares her past, saying Yoshida didn't touch her but took her in to help her change. Goto laughs, knowing that's like Yoshida, but says Sayu can't stay forever. Sayu knows she'll have to face her problems and leave, for both their sakes. Goto listens to her story and comforts her. On his way to the store, Yoshida runs into Mishima, who saw Goto leave with him and get off at the same station. So, impulsively, she got off too. They say goodbye. Yoshida returns home to find Sayu and Goto getting along well. Outside, Goto tells Yoshida that Sayu's a good girl, but she might develop feelings for him. But he's not worried, as Yoshida, known as the office fixer, can handle it. Sayu spots a familiar name on the schedule when Kyoya Yaguchi, a former hookup, arrives. Yaguchi recognizes her as Miyuki. Sayu nervously claims he's mistaken. Yaguchi persists until Asami arrives and sends him to work. After work, Yaguchi waits outside and asks Sayu to show him where she's living now. Sayu refuses, but Yaguchi, that scumbag, blackmails her, threatening to tell Asami and the mini-mart boss everything if she doesn't take him home. Sayu has no choice but to agree, knowing if the truth comes out, they might call the cops and arrest Yoshida. She texts Yoshida saying she's bringing a co-worker home. They arrive and that lowlife Yaguchi tries to force himself on Sayu. Sayu resists, but if he spills, her friendship with Asami would end, and Yoshida could land in jail. With this in mind, Sayu tearfully gives in, but Yoshida shows up just in time and kicks him out. Yaguchi calls him a wannabe hero and leaves, but Yoshida warns him never to touch Sayu again. Exhausted, Yaguchi promises not to try anything again. Yoshida, enraged at people who've only hurt Sayu more and more, sheds a few tears. Asami learns what happened and slaps Yaguchi hard across the face. Mishima meets Yoshida and asks for his number, but Yoshida questions why she'd want it. Frustrated by his curt attitude, Mishima confesses her feelings. She directly tells him she likes him, but in her own way. In other words, well, it's a half confession, but she makes her feelings clear. While cleaning, Sayu finds Yoshida's photo album and sees a picture of his ex-girlfriend, who was his senpai. This confirms to Sayu that Yoshida prefers older women. A businessman arrives at the mini-mart, who turns out to be Sayu's brother looking for her. While shopping, Sayu spots her brother from afar and runs into Mishima. They hide at a karaoke place together. They alert Yoshida, and Mishima, as usual, offers advice. Yoshida arrives to take Sayu home. Mishima notices Yoshida's kindness towards Sayu and feels hurt. Yoshida wants to invite her to dinner, but Mishima says she wants to stay. Yoshida and Sayu leave, and Mishima starts crying over Yoshida, who's never like that with her. The doorbell rings at home. Yoshida answers, and it's none other than Sayu's brother, Issa. He wants to take Sayu home because their mom is very worried. Worried my ass, Sayu says. She doesn't believe her mom cares about her. Since she left, people keep coming by asking for Sayu. They say she's locked in her room, leading to rumors of her being held captive. So he wants her back to quell the rumors. Yoshida asks Isa for more time for Sayu. Isa understands and talks to her privately, respecting her choice and giving her a week to think things over. Sayu calls Asami so she and Yoshida can hear about her past. Sayu didn't have a good relationship with her mother. This left her feeling unmotivated. At school, she was cold and lonely until Yuko befriended her. They became close, but Yuko was bullied because Sayu rejected a boy. Instead of targeting Sayu, known as the princess, they harassed Yuko for being her friend. No matter what, they couldn't make anyone hate Sayu. Yuko, seen as plain, was an easier target. Despite Sayu's attempts to help, Yuko, overwhelmed by bullying and guilt over Sayu's reputation, tragically took her own life. After the incident, reporters flocked to Sayu's house. This angered her mother, who blamed Sayu for everything, even accusing her of killing Yuko. Sayu decides to leave home for good. She tells Isa, who understands and gives her money for 6 months, offering support if needed. Sayu leaves but grows lonely and confused, wasting money and losing touch with her brother. Homeless, she meets a man who lets her stay for free. At first kind, other men soon took advantage until Sayu met Yoshida. Isa talks to Yoshida, sharing more about Sayu's background. Her dad owned a company but was a womanizer. When Sayu's mom got pregnant, she considered abortion, but kept the baby to keep the dad, who then found another woman. That's why Sayu's mom shows no interest in her. She never truly loved Sayu as a daughter, which deeply affected her. Sayu never knew her father's love until she met Yoshida. Isa thanks him for caring for Sayu and being a father figure all this time. On their last night together, Sayu asks to sleep with him. Nothing inappropriate, just their final night together. Yoshida agrees, and Sayu remains sad and scared about what's to come. Yoshida promises to stay with her and help her face her mom. Sayu hugs him tightly, thanking him from the bottom of her heart. They bid farewell to Asami and fly to Hokkaido. After landing, they continue by car. Before going home, Sayu wants to stop at her school. She asks Yoshida to come with her. They enter, Sayu clinging to Yoshida, and head to where it all began, the rooftop. Upon entering, Sayu sees Yuko's silhouette. Trembling, she approaches their usual spot and blames herself for Yuko's death. Yoshida comforts her, and after venting her sorrows, Sayu is finally ready. They return to Isa and finally head home, but the mother... Mother and daughter have a deep talk until Mom blames Sayu for her misfortunes and says she shouldn't have given birth to her. Hearing this, Yoshida gets angry and wants to splash water on the mother, but calms down and thinks it through. He says that despite everything, she's her only mom, and if she keeps pushing her away, he'd care for Sayu, but that's not right. So Yoshida kneels to ask the mother to take care of Sayu until she becomes a proper adult. Isa also kneels, and the mother gets upset, yelling at them to leave. Yoshida cries, and so does Sayu, thanking him for everything he's done for her so far. Isa comes saying the mother agrees and will be less harsh with Sayu. He also talks to Yoshida, saying he'll discuss anything about Sayu with her. So, by dawn, Yoshida should return to Tokyo. Sayu still talks with her mum. He apologizes for any trouble caused, but his mother doesn't, unaware of her mistakes. Still, Yoshida's words show she's his only mother, so he'll let her stay until graduation. Like before, it'll be their last night together. Sayu suggests sleeping with Yoshida, saying it'll help them remember each other. Yoshida refuses, stating recent events ensure he'll never forget her. At the airport, Isa thanks Yoshida again and asks if he likes Sayu. Yoshida says no, preferring older women, you know. He bids Sayu farewell, and she confesses her feelings, but Yoshida, well, he likes adults. Plus, he can't view Sayu romantically. Sayu asks if he might reciprocate when she's older. Laughing, Yoshida says it's possible. Yoshida returns to Tokyo. 2 long years pass. Mishima, now in a higher position. To celebrate, Goto invites the guys out. Yoshida can't go as he's meeting Asami. Hashimoto looks at him like, "Asami, thought you liked older women." Asami tells him to hurry and come straight to her place. And so, as it all began, it ends. First, Yoshida wipes her tears and goes to the seated girl. He tells her it's late and she should head home. This time, she doesn't say she's homeless. Instead, she says her place is far and asks to stay at his. They both smile, and that's how Yoshida and Sayu reunite.